It was the first 2.5 Men episode where we had a murder.
Yeah, that's a stiffy.
It began with my ill-fated comment to Carol Mendelsohn, who is the executive producer of CSI. She and I spoke up at a TV festival in Banff, Canada. I like to say that, Banff. There's 2 F's in it. It's terrific. I suggested to her that it had always been a dream of mine to write an autopsy scene. It would be fun for us to write a CSI, and maybe, you know, quid pro quo, you guys would write a 2.5 Men episode. She spoke at the festival, and they asked her, what do you got coming next year on CSI?
The next thing he knew, Carol mentioned it to a reporter up there, and it was in the trades, and everybody's going, oh, wow, 2.5 Men, CSI are going to switch writing staffs.
So afterwards, I said, what have you done? You know, Carol, hello? She said, I don't know, I thought it would be a funny thing to say. But there's cameras and recording devices, and people took you seriously. And it sort of snowballed from there. It became something we actually done. To my knowledge, they've never switched writers. Usually it's the actors, it's the people in front of the camera that would do the crossover. It's never been done from a behind-the-scenes approach, and for good reason. I think there's an expertise to both processes that is not shared. I mean, it's like asking the guy who throws a shot put to run a 100-yard dash. It's not likely he's going to do it well.
I've never heard of it. I mean, it's such a bizarre concept.
It was an act of bravado and foolishness all in once.
Hey, Charlie.
Hi, Charlie.
It kind of took on a life of its own after that.
It was something that they felt that they could promote, you know, it was different, you know, so I think they figured, why not?
Boy, this is pretty kinky.
Kinky good or kinky bad?
There's a kinky bad?
I know Charlie and John were, you know, I think prudently cautious. And from what I've heard about Billy Peterson and Marg, that they were, really? No one went, oh, what a terrific idea. No one was dumb enough to go, hey, that's aces. Everybody went, well, let's wait and see till we delivered the scripts. And then the scripts, you know, spoke for themselves. The scripts, both scripts, because we helped them and they helped us. Both scripts were not only producible, but, you know, hopefully worth watching.
Ellen, I have to talk to you. Go away. I've got a shot here. No, you don't.
First, we were thinking that in order to make it a 2.5 Men, it really can't be a death or a murder, because that's not really part of our show. And we were trying to think of other mysteries that could come up in the household that would require forensic evidence to solve. You know, yeah. But then we started thinking, if we were going to kill somebody, who would we kill?
Oh, no.
But we had this built-in saga that we'd been doing regarding Robert Wagner and Jenny McCarthy, father and daughter, and Charlie being hot for daughter, and Robert Wagner being engaged to Charlie and Alan's mother, and we reverse engineered that and said, what if they're not what we think they are? What if they're con artists? What if there's a scam? What if they're grifters? And then we understood who had to die.
Well?
This might be a mood breaker.
And we had him die, and everybody was a suspect.
Particularly Holland Taylor's character.
I love that man, and he loved me. In fact, he loved me so much, he didn't even ask for a prenup. And believe me, he's got money, big money.
Well, we don't have to look very hard to find a motive for you, do we?
Ooh.
The heart and soul of that episode is the interrogations.
He was so good to my mom. It's a shame she has to bury another husband.
Another husband?
That was fun. That was the most fun to do because, you know, by isolating each character in a room with a cop asking tough questions, we got to do a little, you know, meet and greet with each one of our principal characters.
Were you in your uncle's room at any time today?
No, I never go in my uncle's room.
Why not?
Because all the skin mags are in my dad's room.
And see how they were responding to the situation, a dead body.
So, Mr. Harper.
Call me Charlie. And you are?
Interested in how you found the body.
The other thing in the interrogation that was really heartwarming for me was Charlie said something we've all been thinking about since the dawn of CSI. He looked at the cop's ample bosom and said,
You know, I'm finding that tank top awfully distracting. Is that police issue?
So we had a little fun with that.
With 2.5 Men, the CSI writers came over here and we talked about the story and helped shape it into something that would work for 2.5 Men.
We have got a real problem here.
What do you mean, we?
I loved the fact that all the forensic shots, except for I think one, all of it had nothing to do with the story. It all had to do with Jake eating.
What are you doing?
And we basically started with him spilling on his shirt and going whoosh, and seeing the stains spread.
Nothing.
And following something down his throat and into the last shot,
Uh-oh.
What's the matter?
following a pocket of gas through his lower intestine.
Oh, Jay!
I guess everybody was anxious to do it, and we had an idea that we wanted to do that was close to Chuck's and my heart in terms of what we wanted to do on a CSI episode.
Well, I'd been wanting to write this as a feature film for a long time, and that was the murder of a sitcom diva. I don't know where that idea would have come to me from. It's sort of inexplicable that I would even think that. But, you know, a woman who had a show named after her, for instance, and she was toxic and cruel and vindictive and paranoid. What would happen if she was murdered? Who would have done it? Everyone would have wanted to. Then it got exciting because now I had a personal stake in it.
Son of a bitch.
There were many times during the process where I look across the table at Lee Aronson, who I wrote it with, and said, I have no idea what's happening. I have no idea. I don't even know who killed the diva anymore. I've lost track. I'm lost. What have we done? Can we get out of this? Who can we call? Let's just apologize and bail.
Switching genres was a big wake-up call for Chuck and I.
The procedural writing is very complex. It has many layers and dead ends.
Something that's introduced in Act 1 doesn't pay off until Act 4.
Pleasure. It could be if you played your cards right.
They were very kind when they read our first draft, which I was very grateful for. They got what we were trying to do. They immediately pointed out that it was entirely too simple.
On both episodes, basically, we here were more responsible for the comedy, and on both episodes, the CSI writers were more responsible for the forensics and plot twists.
We helped each other very much. They helped us, we helped them. The quiet agreement was neither writing staff would let the other staff fail. We were going to protect our shows at all costs, that the craziness of the idea would not get in the way of producing shows that would, would not come back to haunt us. Oh, God, please run this up against the Super Bowl so no one sees it. No, something that we can be proud of.
Ooh, this is awkward.
There's a reason the show is a massive success. They know exactly what they're doing.
We've got some perimortem ecchymosis on the posterior occiput.
That means a bruise on the back of the head.
And yet you still couldn't get into medical school.
One of the wonderful moments that we were so proud of in our 2.5 Men CSI episode was when they put on the wonderful forensic light that they look for sperm. And when they threw that light on in Charlie's bedroom, the audience started laughing immediately. Because, fifth season, they know what's in that room.
My God.
It's like a Jackson Pollock painting.
The ceiling fan's actually a cute story.
Maybe it's a way for them to lighten what is a very dark, motif,
Charlie,
What?
at your mother's wedding,
Yeah.
We brought as much of our experience, as we could.
I'm warning you, coffee tends to shoot through me. So if you've got a cavity search plan, you better do it pretty quick.
We don't need to do a cavity search.
Can I request one?
I'm delighted. I have a CSI episode on my resume. I'm thrilled.